Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today I'm finally doing a video that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Logged in on TradeStation here through a SIM account. Everybody gets a SIM account when they have a real account. No, I'm not trading with 4 million, although that would be very nice. First thing I want to go over are charts. It's the best place to start. I'm going to start getting you used to this interface if you're not used to it already. And even if you have used it, I think I can show you a thing or two by the end of this video series, if you will. What I love about TradeStation is just there's so much you can use to your advantage. First thing up, here's your chart. Looks very similar to E-Trade's new charts, but I gotta say I like these a whole lot better. And I'm gonna show you just why that is. First thing up we can do, I'm gonna make this layout very similar to my E-Trade videos with a couple exceptions. 5-minute chart may not be everything you want. We're going to go intraday once again. We're going to set this to a 1, and you can do that just by typing a 1 after you've clicked on the chart. Okay. You can also do it by right clicking, go in a time frame, picking your poison there. Alright, I want this at the bottom like I normally do, so it's all up to you and what you guys are comfortable with, what you've gotten used to over time. Looks a little bit naked. We're going to go ahead and add a study as well. Study is basically your indicators. And a lot of these studies, though, they have more to them than your average indicator does. I'll try to get into a lot of that as we go. Here I have what I call a Thunderbolt RSI. It's just, it has a yellow line making it look like it's shooting through the clouds. And there it is. It's also on a 14 period, pushed out to 80 and 20 instead of 70 and 30 for your overbought and oversold conditions. Alright, I want volume on this one as well, very important for me. And I want it to show the volume average as well, so I made one of those myself. One of the things about TradeStation, working with the easy language, you can alter and edit almost anything and everything. And I'm going to show you some of that later on in the series as we deal with easy language. I think a lot of the videos dealing with easy language on YouTube are, leaving out a lot of information, and oftentimes it gets boring. I mean, it's coding. You need somebody that can come in and bring a little more life to it. Hopefully that's me. Alright, so let's scroll all the way to the bottom here. Instead of let's just use the one that comes with. I'll show you the stock version for now. Alright, so there's your candles, which you can set colors and everything however you want on this as well. The graphics look so much better than your average E-Trade Pro indicator graphics. Now, most of what we're looking at here, I want it to go throughout, but I don't want it to be too zoomed in or too zoomed out. So that's just, you're going to have to get used to what you like. Now what I was doing there, by the way, is hitting the up and down arrow keys. That's what's going to zoom in and zoom out as necessary. I like to show pre-market and after hours whenever possible. In order to turn that on, you're going to go to time frame, sessions, US stock with pre and post market. There you go. So now you're really looking half after hours and half during the hour regular session. Alright, so we're looking better all the time here. I'll tell you what, I need some more charts though. I'm chart happy today. We're going to go with a daily. Right click, time frame, daily. Okay, not sure why it did exactly like that. We're going to adjust it with the up and down arrows once again. Going to right click, add some studies. Let's say you wanted another volume. It's a big deal to you. Don't really want the RSI in this case unless you're, again, if you were trying to do a long-term hold, perhaps you would. Just to know when, I mean, if you can't tell by looking at the chart when this is oversold and when it's not. I have a few interruptions here, so hopefully I can get through this. When you have a 5-year-old, you never know what's going to happen. Good old 2020. Alright, we got a daily chart with a volume. Got an intraday 1-minute chart with the RSI and volume. Looking good. Let's do another chart. I told you I was chart happy. Sometimes a 1-minute chart just isn't going to do it for you. Again, it depends on your play. Is this a oversold dip play? Is this a ABCD breakout play to a new high a day? Was there news? So on and so on and so on. And I hope to talk about that more as we go. It's one thing I didn't always talk about in my previous videos. But we have to be mindful of just what plays are popular right now. And trying to find what's popular is another thing we are going to talk about. Now, in the time of COVID-19, you already know that news based on that headline is obviously a big deal. So I'm just setting the stage for what's to come, both in the market and in my videos. Okay, do we want volume again? Sure, why not? Got to get used to just coming over here, studies, add study, and we'll get into the other options you have around here too in a moment. Alright, looking good. We're 5 minutes in and we have 3 charts right in front of us. Of course, right now is the weekend, and we don't have live data, at least not for this. TradeStation is teasing about cryptos. That's to be seen. I'm on the waiting list and all that. So obviously, if that was an option right now, I would show you live data for cryptos that trade 24/7. All right, 3 charts, all set up, all the way I want them. There's basic things you need to know here and there, and some of them might even take me time to try to show you, just because I haven't been through a lot of these options. Now that I think about it, that's another way to get all your apps. Go to File, New Application if you want. Workspaces is actually each tab that you see down here. The YouTube tab is what we're on now. That's just made that one just for you guys. The desktop as a whole holds the workspaces. So we can switch through these. There's my Forex with a strategy on it. I don't want to get into that too much, and we have a couple other things that we're going to talk about in future videos. It's best I don't get into that too much because I could talk all day, and a 30-minute video is not what we're looking for today. But what we are looking for is something to add to these charts, and I would ask for suggestions. But since I'm basically talking to myself right now, what I'm going to do is go up to apps and go, hey, what do I want with my charts? Now, TradingView, especially when you start to learn the easy language, is an amazing platform. You now have far more control, and you'll laugh at other brokers that we've mentioned in the past. I'll just leave it that way. So what do I want? Well, I think a watch list is important here, so let's go ahead and try to do something like that. RadarScreen is so amazing. They would have just called it Watchlist like the others, but they added so much functionality to it that to call it a watch list is it's just not enough. So they had to call it RadarScreen, and it basically is just that. Anything that you tell it to look for and find, it's going to find, generally speaking. Now, I don't have any symbols here, but of course I could. I might even just do some of the same symbols over and over just so you get the idea of what we're going to do here. The tabs are on the bottom instead of on top like with E-Trade. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this. And since we did just mention it, COVID-19. And as recently as last week, there was a big contract that a company got from the Department of Defense for over $70 million. And you know something like that's going to move. So there's me just throwing some of this information at you. Nothing new really, but for some of you, you kind of need to know what some of the keywords are. You need to know how to come into this market. There's so many people trading now. I mean, there's news every other day about Robinhood and how they're leading traders and all this. And anyway, the news is all skewed as usual. But I want you to be able to come in here, use TradeStation to the best of your ability, and have a learning curve that isn't weeks, you know, months long. I'll do what I can to help you out. So I'm going to just throw in a couple tickers here, you know, just some that I've heard of. We'll just put it that way. I don't advocate buying or selling any of these unless the conditions are right, and that's what you need to learn, is when those conditions are right. I'm actually going to just leave it to one ticker. We relabeled the tab. We can right click down here, add a new tab. We can right click down here and add a new tab. We can right click down here and add a new tab. You get the idea. Page 2, I can go ahead and rename this tab. Say I just wanted CBD stocks. Come and go, hot 1 week, hot 1 month I should say, and not the other. So you see how that's done. In here we're just gonna shoot some of my old favorites. Okay, I come in here, I don't use the bid, I don't use the ask, I don't use the high, I don't use the low. Do love the volume though. Don't need to know the net change because I have the percentage. Most of what I do if we're in an intraday position is off of percentages anyway. And I apologize if I'm going too fast. I really don't know the pace to set for some of this until I get more comments, feedbacks, subscribers, and likes. That way, that'll kind of let me know what I'm doing right and wrong. Always feel free to leave a comment, by the way. I've used over, I think it's 8 different brokers now, and I'm focusing on this one because they do have so much at your fingertips that you can use. And I'm going to show you that in every single video if I can. That's my goal. I'm going to bring this in. There's a lot more that RadarScreen can do, and I'm going to hit on that briefly. One of those things that it can do is, you could not do this in the aforementioned broker, but you can do it here, and that is indicators. And if you've made those indicators, it's even better. So let's just do something basic. Let's go off of one of the examples I like best here is relative strength. I don't want it at the beginning of the list, so let's click on the last one. Come back over here, make sure it's selected. Click add, hit OK, bam. Now it depends on if what alerts have been added to this particular indicator. This one isn't the one that I made necessarily, so that's just to show you real quickly. Like I said, if I was really to get into this, it's going to be a couple more videos more than likely. And we're going at a good pace here. One thing we want to do is I'm going to remove that one. I'm going to go to the one that I actually have on the chart. That probably makes more sense for this video. There's the Thunderbolt RSI, which I originally made on TradingView and then just brought it over to TradeStation. Okay, there's your RSI level. Overbought levels as they're set, 80 and 20 is the default, 50. Alright, now you can set this to be alert you with different conditions, if it's overbought, if it's oversold, things of that nature. I know some of this you're going to have to take my word on it right now. Like I said, my biggest worry is I've tried to do this video before and I ended up talking for like an hour. So I'm trying to do you a favor by not putting you to sleep. So right now, as it stands, we have 3 charts and a radar screen, aka watch list. You can set any number of things in here. Sometimes some of them are hard to find if you're looking for like specific floats, and I'll get into how you can do that later as well. I think I should show you one other thing. This screen is obviously full for right now. Hot lists are the other part of this, where you might have to do a scan in other brokers, platforms. Here, some of them are already being done for you. So let's go to apps. Let's go to Hotlists. And boom, right away. Gainers for one day is one I often use. That's today, you know. If you want to do it by money, if you were doing the bigger stocks and you had a strategy based on how much money is being exchanged in trades and all that, if it's, let's just say if it's part of your strategy, it's here. More with the one that we're going over now is right here. Again, I don't use the high, low, open, and close, so I come up here, I click that title bar, if you will, and I hit delete. I don't use the net change. Again, I'm going to delete. These 2 columns are virtually the same. They would only differ if one was based on yesterday's close and one's based on today's open, things like that. But as it stands, that's the one I use. Narrow this down so that it can fit in our screen. That's a big thing for me, as you've known for a while. That's how I kind of how I roll. Alright, and you can have several of these. So if we wanted to just do all that over again, not that I really do, and I want to make a new workspace, because let's say you only had one monitor, this is the way to do it. Come in here, apps, hot list, today's gainer, 1 day, apps, hot list, today's losers, percentage, 1 day, delete 4 times, bring it in, get rid of the first one, okay. There you go. Very big on saving as much space as I can, because every space is needed, every bit of space is needed. Alright, so we're coming up just over 15 minutes on the video, so what I want to do is take a minute to thank everybody for watching my previous videos and the feedback. A lot of times people don't want to write in the comments and they just want to shoot you a message directly. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Also, time flies by on Instagram and a few other places if you look hard enough. TradingView still on there, making indicators as well, and strategies, which is something we're going to hopefully get into. I think that about does it for me. There are other hot lists here. You know, for those of you that don't have a TradeStation account yet and you just want to see what it can do, I hope this helps you as well. We're going to get into other things in the next video. It does have a scanner, a very powerful scanner at that. It also has a way to create a watch list based on whatever scan you perform, and their scans are very detailed. E-Trades are known for being detailed, but I think TradeStation is just as much, if not more, detailed and precise. So one thing before you leave, because I can never stop showing you guys enough, is linking. Since we got into charts, I need to show you that it's best to do the global link. I just do blue sometimes, and for Forex I'll do a different color. Do it on the global. If it's just local, it'll just be this screen. If it's global, it'll be any screens you have open, and any tabs down here as well. And I'm going to show that to you because we're going to go to something that we haven't clicked on yet. Let me get this last one, and then this one needs to be linked on it as well. And you know, look, pretty basic stuff. Now Car is in all 3 windows, but let's take a look. if I go back over here, make these blue, global, and we're going to go to MDCA, which was a crazy one Friday. Then we go back to our previous workspace, and MDCA is on all three of them. So I think that's about it, guys. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you stick around. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye.